So you're interested in purchasing the all-new 2024 Chevy Traverse, but want to know the exact feature and option differences between two trim levels. Well, in this video, we're going to cover the LS and the LT, see what the extra money gets you going to the LT, some of the limitations with the LS in terms of features, options, and exterior colors, as well as at the end of this video, go over some of the optional packages and the exact pricing differences between each of these two models, both standard MSRP as well as those available option packages. So as usual, I want to put a disclaimer out there in that I created this list of differences using the GM Fleet Order Guide. So to the best of my ability and the best of my knowledge, this is going to be accurate as of the time of this video. But of course, do your due diligence. Let me know down in the comment section below if you need any clarification or believe something to be incorrect, and I will double check that for you. And I encourage everybody to use the Chevy Build and Price tool once it goes live for the 2024 Traverse, which hopefully will be soon, as these are not too far away from arriving at local dealerships. So first up, I want to cover some of the standard equipment across every single trim level in this next generation Traverse, from the base LS, the LT, all the way up to the top of the line RS and every trim level in between. This is a quite impressive and expanded list of features from that of the current generation Traverse and even some other models currently found in the Chevy lineup. So this is going to include things like the Chevy Safety Assist plus the Driver Confidence Package, IntelliBeam High Beam Assist, the Safety Alert Seat, enhanced automatic emergency braking, intersection emergency braking, reverse automatic braking, adaptive cruise control, enhanced lane keeping assist, HD surround vision camera system, the rear pedestrian alert / side bicyclist alert, traffic sign recognition, as well as the 17.7-inch infotainment system paired to that 11-inch fully digital cluster. And of course, as we know, this will have Google integration for that infotainment system. So again, this is all standard across every single trim level. Now, one addition to note is that if you opt for the LT or higher from that base LS, this will add the 120 volt outlet in the second row seats. So that is going to be the only addition there in that main option group from the LS to the LT. Now, in addition to all of these items, you have the standard convenience package, which includes remote start, heated front seats, heated steering wheel, as well as the wrapped steering wheel. Kind of cool to see that every Traverse will come with remote start, heated front seats, and a heated steering wheel as standard equipment. And I'm not quite done. The list continues on. We have things like wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, Sirius XM, OnStar capability with the connected surfaces, Wi-Fi hotspot, hands-free power liftgate, LED projector headlights, deep tinted rear glass. This is actually mostly specific to the LS, as most trims and higher have already had that. Active noise cancellation, as well as tri-zone automatic climate control. So as you can see, this is quite impressive and expands on the equipment that was formerly standard on the Traverse here in this next generation. So next up, I want to cover the LT standard equipment over that of the LS. So this is essentially some of the options and features that you're gaining opting for the LT over that base LS trim. So like I mentioned already, you're going to get the 120 volt power outlet, 8-way power driver's seat with 4-way lumbar adjustment, the 7-passenger seating, so 2 in the front, 2 in the second row, and 3rd in the third row. 8-passenger is going to be optional, but the 8-passenger is standard on the LS and the only configuration on the LS. You're going to get express up-down windows for all 4 main windows, wireless phone charging, as well as the roof rails so you can mount additional accessories on the roof of the vehicle, all over that base LS. Next up, in terms of optional features on the LT that are also going to be optional on the LS, there's just actually one main option group, and this is the Midnight or Sport Appearance Package. Now, this is a fairly expensive package, but includes a lot of nice appearance amenities on the outside, including some 20-inch alloy wheels among some other black accents. So that is going to be the only option that is found on both the LT and the LS, again, for an additional charge. So next up, I want to move into the optional features that are found on the LT that are not going to be available at all on the base LS. So if you want any of these items that I'm going to mention, you do have to opt for an LT with some of these optional packages to get them. So first up, we have the Enhanced Driving Package, which includes Super Cruise, Enhanced Automatic Parking Assist, as well as the Driver Attention Assist. And then one other thing to note in addition to that is that if you do choose this package, it also is going to be paired to a 10-speaker Bose premium audio system that is actually standard equipment on some of the higher trims, but the LT in specific will add that with that enhanced driving package. Next up, we have panoramic sunroof, trailering package, 8-passenger seating. Like I mentioned, the LS comes standard with 8 passengers, where the LT can be had with both 7 or 8 passengers. We will have to see which packages and configurations that is compatible with. But good to see that they're offering the LT in both 7 and 8 passenger seating. And then finally, we have the black Evotech seating surfaces as an option on the LT, where again, not available at all on the LS. Now finally, wrapping it up with exterior colors. Now believe it or not, like the current generation Traverse, the next generation is going to have some limitations for the LS in terms of which colors GM offers on that particular trim. So the full color lineup for the Traverse is going to be the iridescent pearl tri-coat, summit white, mosaic black metallic, radiant red tint coat, sterling gray metallic, stardust metallic, harvest bronze metallic, as well as lakeshore blue metallic. So these are going to be all of the exterior colors available on the next generation Traverse. But if you want an LS, you're going to be limited to 4 exterior colors, and those are the summit white, mosaic black metallic, the sterling gray metallic, as well as lakeshore blue metallic. So as you can see, the list basically gets cut in half for what the exterior colors are available on that base LS, but everything from the LT and higher will have the full color palette available, which is nice to see. And some of those colors are going to be extra charge colors as well, again, if you do opt for the LT or higher. So finally, moving into the information that most people are probably interested to hear, and that is the pricing information. So starting with the LS, it is going to be offered in both front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. The LS front-wheel drive is going to start at $38,995, including destination. And if you do want all-wheel drive, that is going to be an additional $2,000 charge, which means the LS all-wheel drive comes in at $40,995, again, including destination. Now comparing that to the LT trim, once again comes in front wheel drive and all wheel drive. The LT front wheel drive is going to start at $41,395, including destination. And again, all wheel drive will add $2,000, which makes it $43,395, including destination. And personally, this really doesn't seem like that big of a price difference, but again, there isn't a ton of difference between the LS and the LT. Just that small list I mentioned above, plus the available option groups and optional equipment that you can't get on the LS. So if you're gonna want things like that enhanced driving package, you know, some of the extra cost paint colors, maybe even the 8 passenger seating configuration, etc., those will add cost to the LT. And I believe, you know, a fully loaded LT will likely come in the, you know, upper $40,000 price range, including all-wheel drive, and once again, the Super Cruise package and stuff like that. So I would not be surprised there may be approaching a $10,000 price differential from a, you know, base LS front-wheel drive all the way up to an LT fully loaded all-wheel drive configuration with everything that you can equip on that particular trim level. But as it sits, the base MSRPs are actually not too much different. And speaking of those optional equipment groups and the pricing, I do have the optional equipment groups and the MSRP that is going to be charged for them, but I do not have the exact equipment that they add in terms of, you know, some of the features and options and the smaller items. But we'll go ahead and put that up on the screen as I'm describing the pricing if I do come across that information. First up, we have the Midnight and Sport Edition package, which again can be had on both LS and LT. This is going to be $1,785. Includes things like the 20-inch alloy wheels, the, you know, some of the darker finishes on the outside. Then we have 3 different enhanced driving packages depending on if you get an LT, Z71, and they are going to be different price points because again, they do include slightly different equipment depending on the trim you get. Now for the LT in specific, this is going to be a $3,280 additional charge over the standard MSRP. Again, can be had on front wheel drive and all wheel drive versions, and includes the things like Super Cruise, the enhanced automatic braking, and stuff like that. So basically, you know, for additional $3,200 or so, you can get Super Cruise, which is, you know, not a really expensive price to pay given the, you know, enhancements that you get with the highway driving and stuff. That is going to be a hands-free system. So, you know, compared to what they've charged in the past for Super Cruise, I think this is a very reasonable charge, and it does include a few other items as well, which I mentioned. But those are the only packages in the MSRP that I have access to at the time of this video. So like I said, if you do, you know, have an LT all-wheel drive, add the $3,000 charge plus some of the extra costs, you know, panoramic sunroof, the extra cost paint, stuff like that, it will basically approach that $50,000 price point for a fully loaded LT all-wheel drive and everything else that it has to offer. So don't be alarmed if you're seeing, you know, an upper 40, near $50,000 LT all-wheel drive on dealership lots once these do become available, because not only is it going to be very, very well equipped out of the gate, but it will have, you know, some of these additional options as well. So that's going to do it for this trim comparison here on the 2024 Chevy Traverse in the LS and the LT trims. Now, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and or found something helpful. If you did, make sure to hit that like button below. It greatly helps out the channel, these videos. Subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to check out some other content I have here on the channel, because I will be creating other side-by-side trim comparisons here for the Traverse, you know, in the LT Z71 and Z71 versus that top of the line RS, and explaining all of the key differences in terms of features and options and packaging, because I think this is very helpful, relevant information, especially if you're considering this next generation Traverse, so you can kind of get an idea as to which trim level you may be leaning towards, and then once these do become available on dealership lots, help make an easier decision and narrow down your search a little bit ahead of time. Now, speaking of when these will become available, I think within the next month or two, these should enter production, and then we should start seeing these on dealership lots maybe anytime in March or later, you know, maybe sometime in the spring. And I fully expect, well, I guess I shouldn't say I fully expect, but I do hope to see these at the 2023 Chicago Auto Show early next month in February. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and stay tuned if you're not already subscribed, because I do fully expect to be at the Chicago Auto Show once again, as I was last year. And there was a lot of hot vehicles last year that certainly did help the channel and help grow the audience. So I appreciate you guys that have stuck around since the Chicago Auto Show last year. Hard to believe that's already been a year, but I fully expect to be there in early February, and hopefully the Chevy Traverse is as well, because I can't wait to get hands-on. I'm very excited for this vehicle. It's going to be very, very good for GM, and interesting to see what they did with the platform, because it did grow in size just a little bit over the current generation, but it certainly did add some new features, technology, and also a new design language, which I am certainly a fan of. So can't wait to see it. Hopefully it is at the 2023 Chicago Auto Show, and hopefully you guys stay tuned. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below about the LS versus the LT. And if you have any questions, I will do my best to answer them, of course, down there. And make sure to check out those other trim comparison videos if you're curious about that. But once again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, hope to see you guys in the next one.